Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be doing a Battleground Blitz tier list, an updated version of it. I did one of these a while back, but there's been so many buffs and nerfs since then, and you guys have been wanting me to make an updated version since I've been climbing rank 1 on my Feral. And yeah, so I'll be doing both tanks, healers, and DPS, of course. Fair warning though, I'm basing healers and tanks off um, is how they've been doing in Battleground Blitz at higher rating, because I'm not a healer really and tank player, so just leaving that as a quick disclaimer. I made different categories. Best means they are the best of the best, in my opinion, the strongest out of everything else on this list, and we'll go into that tier. S tier will mean they're still going to be very, very, very strong. It's just that they are they're the best category is like on a extreme different level. A tier, they're still pretty good, just not super amazing like S tier and best. And then B tier is going to be the final tier where they're just not as good in my opinion. So those are the categories. Let's start off with Blood DK. Blood DK, I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't really get a lot of tank games, but I'm putting Blood DK in A tier because I just don't think they are as powerful compared to a few other tanks. And the only thing that I've seen Blood DKs really do in Battleground Blitz on some of my alts that I have gotten tanks in is just kidnap priests pretty much and lock them out of the game. So that's pretty much what I feel like Blood DKs have kind of just done, other than just, being a tank and spinning the flag. Um, then I just usually see DKs like that. I do think there are some other tanks that are better right now, in my opinion. And that's the reason why I'm putting Blood DK in A tier. Let me know if you guys disagree with me on that, but that's where I would put Blood DK at the moment. Up next is Frost DK. I don't think it's the best of the best category, but Frost DK is, in my opinion, pretty good right now. Their main thing for Battleground Blitz has been cleave damage, and just gripping everything in, stunning them all with their Frost from Fury, and everybody just cleaves everything down. I think they're pretty strong. Probably the best Death Knight spec right now. I have not seen many Unholies, and every Death Knight I've been seeing, I would say probably like 85% of the Death Knights I've seen at high MMR. Actually, no, probably like 95% to be honest. 95% of the Death Knights I've seen at high MMR have been Frost. I have barely seen any Unholies at the moment, but the few Unholies I've seen, I feel like hasn't really been as threatening as Frost. They just got massive cleave damage, better AoE, and it's just they can just melt stuff. And on top of that, like I said, if everybody just gets cleaved down with all the rats, warriors, if there's a devastation on your team, the cleave you can do with a Frost DK on your team, you can just shred groups like they're crazy. So that's my main reason why I'm putting Frost in the S tier. You could probably make a case for it in the best tier, but I don't think it's as strong in that category. Frost is by no means bad or anything, but in my opinion, I would rate Frost at S tier right now instead of the best category. And that leaves Unholy. I'm putting Unholy below Frost. I just don't think it's as strong as Frost currently at the moment. They did just recently received buffs, but even still, no matter which mode I've been playing recently, even though this is still literally just a Battleground Blitz tier, I just don't think they're as threatening as Frost. I've come up against a few of them, and Frost to me has always seemed a lot more scarier than Unholy at the moment, and that's just the main reason why I'm putting Unholy in S tier. I just think Frost is currently way stronger with their cleave, and they pair really well into comps that just AoE everything, like a Devastation, a Fury Warrior, or an Armed Warrior that goes Blade Storm Ham, you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I am putting Unholy in A tier. Up next is Vengeance Demon Hunter. I've actually seen a few Vengeance Demon Hunters at higher level compared to Blood, and I've seen Vengeance Demon Hunters do pretty well, so I'm going to put them in S tier. I do think they're better than Blood right now. Like I said, I don't get too many tank games, but the very few select games that I have seen a tank in, I've seen a Vengeance Demon Hunter in, and he does pretty dang well. He kites pretty well. He knows what to do and jump off buildings and cliffs and up the graveyard and all that stuff. So that's why I personally am rating Vengeance Demon Hunter pretty well. Not to mention they can see stealthers, so they can't get capped on, although you can still, get capped on by a rogue sometimes just because rogues are a pain in the butt. But sometimes that balances out with people coming back to help them while the Demon Hunter spins. It can, you know, you can put Immolation Ore and stop the AoE or something like that, or cap. But anyways, regardless, I've seen way more Vengeance Demon Hunters at a higher rating that do way well than a Blood DK. And I personally think that Vengeance Demon Hunter is better than Blood DK at the moment. So that's why I'm putting it on S tier. Up next is Havoc Demon Hunter. Havoc Demon Hunter, I've seen a lot of these at high rating. I don't think they're the best of the best, but they do deserve a spot in S tier at the moment. They got the mobility to go help out base if somebody is needing to call for it. Their defenses are a little bit lacking, which sucks. Also, they are one of the classes that can keep an eye on stealthers, so that is huge. They can, like, if, for example, on Battle for Guild Lameness, most of the time when I see this, they have the Demon Hunter sit back, watch where the stealther's going, and if he's going Lighthouse or Mines, whichever faction you're on, then he'll go back and help out the fight. On off carts, when I play Silver Shard Mines, Demon Hunters usually help out on that sometimes, and they can shred on off cart teams, so they help out there. On Temple, they can jump up to get out of middle if they need to be. And yeah, Demon Hunters are just really strong. The only thing they lack is just defensives, but their damage is good, their mobility is good, they can keep eye on stealthers. That's the reason why I'm putting Havoc Demon Hunter on S tier. Balance Druid, 100% one of the best as a Boomkin player. They've just always been known to be one of the best, strongest battle round specs in the game. Dot everything up, rot them down. Some of the strongest CC between Root Beam combo into a Cyclone or vice versa. They got the mobility to go help out a base if needed. They can ninja bases with their Cyclone ninja cap. And yeah, there's just a lot of things Boomkin can pretty much do. So that's why Boomkin is pretty much the best of the best at the moment, and why I'm putting them on that category. Up next is Feral. You can make a case either for S tier or best tier, S or best at the moment. Feral is pretty much what I am currently climbing on at the moment, and I think Feral is pretty much in the best of the best category. Similar to pretty much Boomkin, they can be in team fights right now with their cleave damage. They can Cyclone Ninja Cap, especially since, unlike Boomkin, Feral can just go off and ninja bases because they're better at 1v1s than Boomkin are. I've seen some Ferals run the flag if needed to be. Not that that's really often, but it can happen. And they can off-heal carts if needed, because you're pretty much guaranteed to be on off-cart duty in Silver Shard Mines. The only map that Feral really sucks on, in my opinion, is Temple. That is by far Feral's worst map, but everything else Feral does pretty well on. You can pop your cleave build and just help the team fight shred, and you can pop your memes and cyclones on healers, typhoon people off. You know, Feral is just a really, really strong spec, and that's why I'm putting it in the best of the best category. Up next is Guardian Druid. I'm going to put this in S tier. Guardian, in my opinion, is, like I said, better than Blood DK. Guardians do okay-ish at the moment. I've seen a few Guardian Druids. I've actually seen, believe it or not, more Vengeance Demon Hunters than Guardian Druids. But I haven't seen a few Guardian Druids do pretty well. They still do pretty well. Spinning objectives because of Brambles. Brambles is still very, very strong. They do decent flag carrying. They got mobility. They can do good job of spinning flags. But yeah, that's pretty much standard tank things. I think Guardian Druid's still pretty good. So I'm putting them on S tier for that reason. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Like I said, tanks are hard to judge because I don't get them as often. I'm actually kind of surprised, but yeah, it's hard for me to judge for tanks. But I think Vengeance and Guardian are personally better than Blood from the few tank games I have played with them on. So that's why I'm putting them in S tier. Up next is Resto Druid. I've done a few battle rounds now with Resto Druids. I think they're one of the weaker healers at the moment, so I'm putting it personally in A tier. The only thing I could say for Resto Druid is that at least they had the ability to run and help out if needed. But the reason why I'm putting it on A tier is because, hands down, there's way better healers than Resto Druid at the moment. And let me know if you guys disagree with me on this, because like I said, I know I'm not a healer player. But I've done so many battle run blitzes, and Resto Druid's probably the healer I see the least, probably for good reason, because you can generally tell what the meta is by however many you see in battle rounds most of the time. But a lot of my experiences with Resto Druids does not generally tend to do as well as some other healers, which you'll see later down the line. But yeah, so I personally think Resto Druid is A tier. If you want to make a case for S tier, you can, but I would put it no higher than that. I personally, myself, am not going to change this because I think it's A tier, and that's my honest opinion. Up next is Augmentation Evoker. I have yet to see a single augmentation in a Blitz game, although they have gotten buffed, and I will say I know I've seen the augmentation one-shot videos. I've seen it going around. Having said that, I don't see them too often. I'll probably put them in. You can make a case for an A or B tier. I will put it in A tier just because the whole one shot thing is going around, and you could probably make a case for it in A tier. But that's where I would currently put it right now. Just because the whole one shot videos, and people probably can find a way to make that work in Blitz. But otherwise, I would put it between like A and B. That's my opinion. Up next is Devastation Evoker, hands down going in the best of the best category. They got insane DPS, they got decent consistent damage, they got rescue, they have a talent that lets them swoop people to the ledge where you can just knock them off in like Eye of the Storm, for example, or AB. You can completely lock a healer out of the fight just doing that and get Lumber Milled easy peasy just like that. Or Eye of the Storm, that could work too. Just bring them to the ledge, Typhoon them off, or not Typhoon them off, Wing buff it off, whatever. What's some other ones? The honor talent that Alania Sights people sometimes can help, although it backfires on your team too, so be warned with that. Overall, Devastation is just really strong for Battle Rounds and Battle Run Blitz. So I'm putting this as the best of the best, and just because it pretty much deserves it. Not to mention, you cannot be kicked, or you can be not kicked. You cannot be kicked with the talents, as well as Nullifying Shroud makes you immune to 3 CCs, which helps out quite a bit as well. Alright, up next is Beast Mastery. I'm putting this on S tier, just because like every single battleground, and I mean literally every battleground, BM Hunters are always asked to sit. They are the #1 class that always sits, which makes them really wanted in Battleground Blitz. So that's their main role. I am putting it on S tier pretty much for that reason. And the reason why that it is because of the next one, which is Marksman, which is going best of the best. If there is no Beast Mastery Hunters, Marksmans will sit too generally. But the difference is Marksman Hunter damage is way stronger than Beast Mastery damage, in my opinion. I've seen way more Marksman Hunters than Beast Masteries sometimes in Battleground Blitz. And regardless which Hunter spec you play, you'll most likely be sitting. So Marksman Hunter will probably just switch to using a pet if he's not Beast Mastery and doing that. Unless there's like a different spec like a Rogue or a Paladin that might sit instead. But yeah, so Marksman Hunter, hands down, I've seen them absolutely shred in battlegrounds. They're insane in team fights. They are good base sitters, and that's the same reason why I'm putting Beast Mastery in the S tier, because they're just really good at base sitters and spinning and all that stuff. So that's the reason why I'm putting Marksman in that best tier and Beast Mastery in the S tier. Now for survival, I'm putting in A tier. I don't see too many survival hunters. I don't think they're necessarily bad, but out of all the hunter specs personally, I think Beast Mastery and Marksman are more powerful in Blitz. Marksman just has better damage in my opinion, and Beast Mastery has a better time of just spinning with their double pets, and they, in my opinion, have better, stronger damage than survival. But if you're survival, you'll probably most likely just be doing the same thing as the other hunter specs and just base sitting. And if not, then you'll just be in team fights on certain maps, like obviously like Temple, stuff like that. So that's the reason why I'm rating survival lower than the other two specs. Up next is Arcane. I'm going to be putting this on S tier. I've seen a lot of Arcane mages recently than in Battleground Blitz, and they are pretty good right now. They have some crazy bursts. They got decent mobility. The only downside with Arcane is that if you get locked, you kind of are going to have a rough time, but just try to juke, etc., and you'll be fine. Other than that, they have Ice Wall, which is what all the other two specs have. which makes it incredibly powerful blitz. I cannot tell you how many times a flag has gotten stolen, whether it be on my team or the other team, because of an ice wall. So ice wall is incredibly powerful, so it helps out quite a bit. And yeah, Arcane's just got some good consistent damage, good burst, got ice wall, and that's the reason why I'm putting Arcane on the S category. Up next is Fire. Fire, in my opinion, is not as amazing in Battleground Blitz. Its damage is okay, but it's kind of the weaker one. So I'm putting it in the B category. It kind of feels weird putting it higher than Augmentation, but Augmentation's got that one shot burst thing at the moment, and Augmentation's got some pretty decent support. So it's really hard for me to say. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, Fire just isn't as powerful in Battleground Blitz. It's really strong in randoms, but this is a Battleground Blitz tier list, so yeah. I don't think Fire is as strong in Blitz at the moment compared to Arcane. And which leaves Frost. Frost is hands down the best of the best. It's got permanent slows everywhere. It's got double ice block. Like I said, Ice Wall. I know the other specs have it as well, but it has that as well. And Frost is insanely powerful compared to spinning the flags as compared to Arcane and Fire, which is really, really important, as you can just pop Blizzards, Frozen Orb, and just keep line of sighting them, and just, stuff like that. So Frost is incredibly powerful to spinning bases compared to Arcane and Fire, which is why I'm rating it a lot higher. Not to mention, like I said, the permanent slows is pretty huge for Frost, because being permanent rooted all the time in a battleground, I'm sure as everybody knows, is massively annoying. So that's the reason why I'm putting Frost on the best of the best. Up next is Brewmaster. I don't think it's a good tank at all for Battleground Blitz. Nobody plays it. I've never seen a Blitz Brewmaster at all. So I don't think they're that good. Not to mention, the one thing that Brewmaster could probably actually do well is teleport with the flag. And I can't confirm this for sure because I don't play it. Mistweaver and Windwalker can't teleport with the Orb and Temple or the flag anymore. So I imagine Brewmaster can't either. So the one thing that Brewmaster might have had going for it is gone. So yeah, I think even Blood DK is better than that. And Vengeance and Guardian I see way more than the other ones. So that's the reason why I'm putting Brewmaster in the lower category. Mistweaver, if this was last season, I would put them in the best of the best, but they did go down a peg. The reason why I'm putting Mistweaver in S tiers, they're still pretty good in Battlegrounds. Revival helps out a lot, and I've seen some Mistweavers still carry the flag. The only downside is that, like I said before with Brewmaster, you cannot teleport with the flag anymore. So that was why, if they could do that, Mistweaver would go in the best of the best, but because of that, they went down a peg, and since Mistweavers can't teleport with orbs or flag carrying anymore, they went down to S tier for me. Other than that, they're still one of the more powerful healer specs right now for Battleground Blitz. They still occasionally run flags if there's no other certain healers right now, because the healer meta is flag carrying at the moment, which is so weird. But yeah, the meta for flag carrying for healers. So that's the reason why I'm putting it in S tier. Windwalker, same thing, going in S tier. I don't think they're the best of the best, but they do deserve S tier because they are still very strong. Like I said before, you can't really flag carry because it's just you can't teleport with orbs or flags. I'm still shocked about the orbs thing. I think that's so weird. I mean, I get flag carrying, but temple orbs is just weird. They're very strong at 1v1, so they could ninja a base if they're quick enough. I've seen some Windwalkers do it. They just go charging in and just delete somebody and try and ninja the base before they res. So they can do that. Not having stealth sneaking up on somebody can sometimes suck, but there is power-ups in Blitz which can let you sneak up on somebody because there's a power-up that lets you stealth. So that can help out quite a bit. But yeah. Regardless, Windwalker's pretty strong in teamfights. They hit pretty hard. Their survivability is very strong at the moment. And yeah, I mean, they just deserve S tier pretty much for that reason. Alright, up next is Holy Pally. I'm putting Holy Pally stronger than Resto Druid, but I think they're A tier at the moment. You could probably make a case for an S tier, but I do think the other healers are stronger than Holy Pally at the moment. Like I said, I'm not a big healer person, so you guys can disagree with me on that. That's fine. but the few games I've had a Holy Paladin, they haven't done as well, similar to Resto Druid compared to like some of the other healers in the game. But that's just what I've noticed. I don't think they're bad. I do think Resto Druid is worse than Holy Paladins in my experience, but that's the reason why I'm putting it on A tier. Up next is Prot Paladin. I'm putting Prot above Blood DK because I think they're way better base spinners than Blood DK. The only downside to playing Prot is that they suck at flag carrying because you can't bubble with it, you can't Blessing a Spell Warden, you can lay on hands. I don't think you can use Guardian Queens with the flag. So that's the reason why I'm putting Prots on A tier. I guess you could probably make a case for an S tier, but I don't think it's really that good for S tier. They are very strong support, so they can help out the team a lot. Like for example, a Prot can put Queens on a healer, so the healer doesn't die, and they can just keep on healing like they're fine. So I guess you can, I'll put Prot in the S tier. Prot S tier, because they can make some good support. But the only downside to playing Prot is, like I said, you can't use most of your defenses with an orb or a flag, which takes out like 3 of the maps. So do keep that in mind. But they do make really, really good support and base spinners. So that'll help out for quite a few other maps. Up next is Rets. Ever since the Ret buffs, I have seen a massive increase of them at higher MMR. I cannot believe the amount of Rets that have just absolutely dominated at high MMR lately. I've had Rets solo me lately, even through all my cooldowns. It's ridiculous. They're very strong at the moment. They're very strong in off-cart teams. Every time I've gotten Silver Shard Mines, they always help me out and save me by putting bubble on me and saving my life with that bubble. And then they're very good at base sitting. So if you get stuck on base sitting duty, if there's no marksman or beast mastery hunter, then they make incredibly well base sitters because they can bubble and all that stuff and won't get capped on by a rogue. So they're very good with that. And of course, like I said, they're very strong in team fights, really good in support, and that's the reason why I'm putting them in the best of the best category. Up next is both priest specs. I'm just going to put this in best of the best. Currently, priest healers are the hands down one of the strongest specs in Battleground Blitz at the moment. Discipline priests have been running every single flag every time I'm in a Battleground Blitz, and they're like tank gods. They last forever, and every time there's a flag carrying map, people always ask the discipline to run it. Or Holy Priest. I've seen Holy Priest do the same thing as well. And Holy Priest do some incredible healing in raids as well. So that's the reason why I'm putting these two on the best of the best categories. It's just that they're the stronger healers in Battleground Blitz. I don't think I've had a single Blitz where there hasn't been double Priest on both teams. So many times. I see Priest more than any other healer in the game in Battleground Blitz at the moment. So that's the reason why that's the best. I've seen some people say discipline might be lower now, but I still don't see it. I think these two are the best healers for Blitz at the moment, or at least one of the few. Up next is Shadow Priest. I'm going to put them on S tier. You can make a case for it in best of the best, but I'm putting Shadow Priest in S tier because they got Leap of Faith. Mind Control can make people go off cliffs if necessary. They're the strongest healer, one of the strongest healers, class killer in the game, spec killer in the game. They got Void Shift to save flag carriers or healers if they're pretty low. They have some of the best utility. So, you know what? Actually, I'm going to put it on best of the best. Yeah, they're hands down one of the best Battleground Blitz specs in the game just because they're so good at killing healers. They're got insane utility with, like I said, Leap of Faith and Silence, a Fear. They have so many things. I can keep going, but I'm sure you guys get the point. So, and their burst damage with Void Torrent is pretty dang good as well. Up next is Rogue. I'm putting Rogue on the best of the best category. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious why. They're king of 1v1 solos. They're good at defending. They're good at ninjing bases. I've lost so many games and won so many games because of a Rogue on my team. Probably more than any other DPS spec in the game because they just ninja flag when they absolutely, when your team absolutely needs it the most. So Assassin and Sub are hands down just deserve to be best of the best because they're so good. at it. And plus, unlike Sub, Assassin can not only do what Sub can and just go ninja bases, Assassin's really good in team fights compared to Sub as well. So Assassin can do pretty much anything that is needed in a battle round. I debated on putting Outlaw on S tier, best of the best as well, because it's similar to Sub and Assassin, which can ninja things, and Outlaw can be in team fights, but it is, in my opinion, weaker damage-wise out of the two, so I'm still going to put it on S tier. And the difference between Outlaw is, like I said, while its damage is weaker, it can do the same thing as Assassin and Sub and try ninja bases, but Outlaw can also run flags if necessary. I've seen some Outlaws run flag with their grappling speed run. So that's why I'm putting them on S tier. I just think it's weaker out of the two rogue specs. Let me know if you disagree and think I should put in the best of best as well. But I think Outlaw deserves to be in an S tier. It's the best of the best. Up next is Elemental Shaman. Right now, I would put Elemental in S tier. I don't think it's the best of the best, but right now, Elemental is pretty crazy. It hits pretty dang hard. They have some really decent utility if need to be, but they don't really bring as much compared to some of the other specs in the game, so that's kind of why I'm putting it in S tier. They have some ramp up time, but their damage is pretty good. Hex is pretty good to ninja bases. I've seen some shamans do that. They get like a trinket and just hex somebody and then steal the base, so that can help out as well. And plus, it helps ceasing targets as well, so which is nice. Not to mention that one totem, static totem, can help out on stuff like Silver Shard Mines, for example, where you get people all rooted in that totem. You put it farther away and get them out of the cart. Can help out as quite a bit as well. So, Elemental's pretty powerful, and that's why I'm putting it on S tier. Enhancement Shaman, I think, is an A tier right now. I don't see too many Enhancement Shamans. I don't think they're as amazing compared to Elemental, but they're not necessarily bad. Kind of similar to like Unholy DK. And Survival Hunter. They're kind of there, and they're not necessarily bad, but they're just compared to S tier and best. I just don't think they're as good, and that's the reason why I am putting it on A tier. Up next is Resto Shaman. I see a decent amount of Resto Shamans, and I've had some flag carrying, and they do pretty well. They are not as strong as uh, uh, Discipline and Holy Priest, but I think they are pretty good. They do some pretty decent healing. They've made some good flag carriers before, although it's kind of like a last resort if there's nothing else left. Their utility is pretty nice, and that's the reason why I'm putting it on S tier pretty much. Nothing more than that. By the way, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the Preservation Evoker is not on this list. I'm not sure why Preservation isn't here. I just now noticed that. But yeah, there's no Preservation Evoker for some reason. So if I'll probably type this in the comment section too. But Preservation Evoker would be on the best of the best. Alright, up next is Affliction Lock. This does go in the best of the best category. It's the strongest Warlock spec in out of everything right now. Their rot damage is really hard counter for healers, and rotting teams down in Blitz is incredibly nice, especially with healers that cannot dispel Unstable Affliction, and their force set is absolutely crazy right now. It spreads Unstable Affliction to other targets, and if healers dispel it, they're screwed. So, rot damage teams like an Eye of the Storm, Temple, where you just rot things down, it is incredibly strong. It deserves to be the best of the best. They got some really powerful CC. They can reflect stuff. Shadow Rift is very powerful. And yeah, best of the best. Up next is Demo. I personally don't think Demo's that great. You could probably make a case for it in A tier or B tier. I'll put it in B tier. I feel like it's similar to Enhancement. It's just kind of there. They're really good at ceasing targets and base spinning, but that's about the extent I would say for Demo Lock. They just don't feel that great otherwise. Their damage is not bad, but they're kind of similar to just like playing a Beast Mastery Hunter, except Beast Mastery is better in my opinion. So that's the reason why I am putting Demo Lock in A tier. So they're just like a mini version of Beast Mastery, except Beast Mastery can spin better in my opinion than a Demo Lock probably could. But that's just, like I said, my opinion. And last but not least, Destroluck. Destroluck is really powerful at the moment. I would put them in the best of the best. They could do their Havoc Mortal Coil combo on 2 healers at once, and you can just shred like another team DPS or something, or keep them CC'd, stuff like that. Destro hits some really big, huge bolts at the moment, and yeah, you just can have some really good time CC and just absolutely nuke 2 targets at once with your Havoc combo as well. So basically, the difference between Affliction and Destro, to be honest, is just that Destro just goes all in burst, and then Affliction is just slowly rot over time. So it's 2 different playstyles, but they're both, in my opinion, the best 2 Warlock specs, and they are very powerful at the moment, and that's the reason why I'm putting it on the best of the best. I'm going to put Arms and Fury currently on S tier. I think they're both very good at the moment. You could probably make them both on best of the best, because in Blitz, you'll have a healer with you, so and warriors do really well with healers. But the reason why I'm putting warrior on S tier at the moment, I've noticed some in some other Blitz tier lists that people say warrior is not that good at the moment, and I have to hard disagree. I've seen a lot of warriors at high MMR. And there's like another warrior I saw this morning when I was queuing on my Blitz. He was like at 2800, and he was just shredding everything. And he was like top damage like every single game. I don't remember his name. He was like an orc or something. But he was just absolutely shredding everything, and I got him like several times in a row. And he's not like the only one. I've seen a few other warriors do too. But both Arms and Fury, from what I've seen, have just absolutely shredded stuff. So that's the reason why I think they're S tier at the moment. Like I said, you can make a case for both of them to be in the best of the best, but Arms and Fury are both incredibly strong for Battleground Blitz at the moment. So that's why I'm putting them in the S tier. I think they're very good, and yeah. So, and that leaves Prot Warrior. I think is currently one of the strongest tanks in Battleground Blitz at the moment. I've seen a lot of them, probably more than any other Battleground Blitz tank in the game. I think they're very strong. They're very good spinners, and their constant root is obviously very tilting as well. They just spam that root on you, and it's very annoying. But yeah, like I said, tanks are just pretty much base spinners, spinners, just to irritate targets, stuff like that. So it's hard to kind of just pick where to judge tanks, but yeah, this is what what I picked, and let me know what you guys think of my list, and I will see you guys later. Peace.